As prices go up, the £1 challenge feels redundant in 2024. So what about the £2 challenge? I'm going to see if I can last an entire working week on just £2 per day. That's £10 total. Will I spend it all? What will I make? Let's go shopping. I'm going to do it a little bit differently this time. And I'm going to kind of take every day as it comes. And I'm not going to spend the entire £10 at once. When I need to go shopping, I'll just go shopping. But hopefully I'll only be spending £4, £5, maybe £6 right now. So I went into Tesco and started looking for some bargains. Immediately found some chicken for £2. Good amount of meat. Just need to think of a load of different chicken dishes I can do now. Then I grabbed some onions, some potatoes, and some carrots. Although I quickly realised upon weighing them, the full bag was in fact cheaper. Right, I'm gonna get some bananas, and we'll stock up on some of the little but cheap things that can add some substance. Off I went to find some nice cheap bits. So we are on £4.22. I'm gonna try and spend maybe another £1.50, £1.80. Something tells me this challenge is gonna be a heck of a lot harder than I'm thinking it's going to be in my head. I have just found an absolute bargain. 45p for 4 chicken and vegetable soups. That is going in the trolley. 25p. I think we get this. I think I'm done for today. I reckon I can get through the next few days with this. Leaves me £4.44 left. Hello? I am taking this. Yes. That surprise coupon saved me 30p, which is awesome. So actually, £4.74 remains. Might actually be doable. We'll see in the morning. To mix things up a bit, I'm including 3 wildcards per day that I can use to zhuzh up my recipes without taking the mick too much. These are split into 3 categories. Free, things like spices, butter, milk. 10 pence, allows things like a stock pot, flour, sugar or sauces. And the most expensive 20 pence category, think eggs and cheese, those kind of things. Essentials like oil, salt and pepper don't count as any sort of wildcard. So, here's what we got. Obviously, in the freezer, don't want to take it out. I got my bread, 25p, 21p. This cabbage, 69p. Very, very happy with my chicken cup of soups here, 45p. The usual bag of carrots, 55p. I think I got this when I did my £1 challenge for a week, but it's a solid thing to get. And I'm gonna think of some more interesting things to do with them. 2 taters, 35p. I got a potato ricer for my birthday. I'm very excited to try it out for the first time and try and get the smoothest mash possible. My little baked beans, 23p. Got a load of chicken, £2. Actually, no, £1.70 after that little voucher, wasn't it? A couple of bananas, 29 pence. I have my brown onions, 34p. I'm hoping this is gonna last me at least the first 3 days or so. Now what I did find really interesting with this shop is with the addition of my wild cards getting 3 per day. Don't have to use them, but I was having to shop and think what could I potentially use and what could I potentially spend from the wild cards to make some slightly more interesting dishes. Because otherwise it's just going to be the same video as last time and it's just going to be a bit, Sam's just eating a chicken wing and some cabbage and some carrots again. I feel like it makes this slightly more interesting. One thing I did forget, and it's breakfast this morning, my banana pancakes. I'm gonna try and not use any wild cards today. So while these would be better with syrup, I'm just gonna have them as they are. I've made banana pancakes a lot in the past. I've never bought them. And it said made with banana puree, so I'm wondering if there's banana puree actually inside. There's not banana puree inside them. They are just as they come. They are tasty. They're just ever so slightly a bit dry. But I really don't want to start slamming the budget down with like a little bit of yogurt or a little bit of syrup. Sure, it's only 10p, 10p, and that could be make or break for some really interesting meals later down the line in the next few days. And that is my aim with this video. I really do want to make as many interesting meals, decent meals, hearty meals, meals that make you go, that are super cheap. Obviously it is just me. Carolina is not joining me in this venture. Can I just say, my banana fritters, the ones I've made on the show before, so much better than these. And all you need is a banana, some breadcrumbs, and a frying pan. Very indescript packet of soup right here. What's good is I can use one of these in some inventive ways for things like gravy as well, because there are 4 of them. So I've got my little autumnal mug here. Whack it in. Nice bit of boiling water. Already smells beautiful. Got my bread. Gonna toast it. Gonna use one of my wild cards as well to go with this, a free one. We're just gonna butter our bread. That actually looks really appetizing. It's a really good looking lunch and it cost next to nothing. Probably, I reckon it was less than 20p altogether. The soup's actually really good. Now, not counting as a wild card, as we know, I did put a little bit of salt in this. Salt, pepper and oil are all completely free. Don't count as wild cards at all. I don't mind a cup of soup, you know. This one in particular. And I reckon if we use one of these with a little bit less water, that could be a really lovely gravy. Now I know you guys always tell me whenever I have bone-in chicken, save all of the bones. I'm gonna be doing that, so hopefully we can make something really nice by day 5. Gotta really use everything at our disposal for the next 5 days. Now, one thing I don't know is whether this is gonna be 3 separate videos or 5 separate videos. I guess you'll just have to find out and see what comes out in the next couple of days. So if you're new here, you wanna see how the rest of the days go, please remember, smash that subscribe button so you can be notified over the next couple of days when the next video is out. Now it's time for my first dinner of this challenge, where obviously we're having chicken. Interesting to see how many drumsticks we have here, but I will portion this up. There's 11 chicken legs. Not chicken legs, chicken drumsticks. I think it's a really, really good number. 2 a day, an extra 1 on one day, just to, you know, treat myself a little bit. So I'm gonna do my 2 chicken drumsticks, probably roasted in the air fryer, bit of oil, bit of salt and pepper, nice and easy. A few roast carrots again as well, just a bit of oil, salt and pepper. Really nice. Nice bit of greenery there.
Wait, what?
Mashed potato. And one thing I got for my birthday, which a lot of you will find sad, but I love being in my 30s. It's a potato ricer. This is gonna give me the smoothest mashed potato I've ever had. What a dinner. What a dinner. That's gonna be great. I'm excited by it. Let's get cooking. Now the chicken's nice and easy. Kind of got this in here and we're gonna do a little bit of oil over it. And then I don't have my tripod, so it will be a bit of salt and pepper. And then again, that's just going in the air fryer, sort of for 15 to 18 minutes. I'm now gonna do what I think is the most exciting thing I've ever done. Here we go. I've got to aim true. Oh, I wish you could see this. Oh my word, that was the most satisfying thing ever. Look at how that's come out. It's so, like, fine. I'm gonna run a load of butter, well, I'm gonna run a bit of butter and some milk through it, whip it all up, and that should become incredibly creamy. Just a little bit of butter in there. A little bit of milk. We mix and whip. Bear with me. I think that looks beautiful. Look at that mashed potato. I should have done some of the cabbage as well, but it's fine. And then we have some soup gravy. One thing I wish I did is use a little bit less milk. I only put a splash, but a little bit less milk in the mash, because it is a little bit runny. But c'est la vie, that is life. We learn from our mistakes. This looks like a really good dinner. And again, it cost me next to nothing. This chicken soup as gravy was a good shout. But this mashed potato, I've never had mash quite so creamy. There's no lumps at all. It's really, really good. This marks a momentous day. I will never have lumpy mash again. I don't know if you can see that, but that is creamy as anything. Creamy, creamy boy. The chicken legs, cooked well. We will save and freeze the bones. So honestly, if I'm gonna be eating like this, I don't foresee this challenge being as hard as I remember. The wild cards are wild cards, but most of the wild cards I'm using are all things that we're going to keep in the fridge, keep in the house in general. I'm not going to be buying the entire box of them, or the entire carton of it, or the entire block of it. It's to help me have a better time with this. As I said earlier, do you really just want to see me eating just meat and 2 veg every single day for 5 days? Got some good meals lined up for tomorrow. I've got a bit of a decent brekkie lined up, which I'm excited for. I've got a fantastic dinner, which I'm even more excited for. And I'm excited to see actually what the future holds in this challenge, because I find it's pretty fun to start thinking outside the box and see what I can do. We'll avoid a shopping trip tomorrow if we can, but equally, I don't know what will happen when inspiration will hit. I'm gonna start using soup as gravy even more. What an incredibly satisfying first dinner. These will go in the freezer, don't worry. So like last time, I started the day off with my remaining banana pancakes. Again, they were pretty dry, pretty lackluster, but today was a new day, and despite a boring breakfast, I had plans. Big plans. On that note, £4.74. It's not a bad amount of money. All I've got can definitely last us 5 days. So I feel like the rest of it is just kind of making some nicer things. Whether that's through using wildcards or going to the shop for the odd other bit here and there. Right now though, I'm probably going to be a little bit boring. I will admit, only reason I'm being a little bit boring is because work right now is... Let's just say it's hard to make videos when you've got a full-time job that is incredibly demanding. But hey, that's fine. I'm not going to complain. At least I'm employed. That's a good thing. I've got baked beans. If you remember Alex from a video a few weeks back, Alex claims these are the best baked beans in the world. And these are 23 pence. That's 1 serving. That looks really, really good. As I say, I'm going to be boring. No wild cards here today. I'm just going to put these beans on a couple of slices of toast. That is going to be my lunch. I say, no wild cards right this second. I am literally just going to be putting these baked beans on a couple of slices of toast. No butter, no nothing. That's it. That's lunch. This evening though, 3 wild cards. I'll let you guess while we cook this, but I'll tell you now, those wild cards are going to cost me 50p altogether. It's going to be 2 eggs, bit of flour. What could he be making? Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Also guys, season your beans. Always. Because when bread is this small, 2 slices just ain't gonna cut it. This is a dinner or a lunch that I will never, ever, ever in a million years tire of. Beans on toast is an absolute triumph among British classics. Well, if anyone can make a 2-minute section on beans on toast exciting, I guess that's me. If you think this is exciting, man eating beans on toast, prime content, what you've all been waiting for this. But hey, when you're living on £2 a day, what more is there? What more can you do? These beans are good actually. I see what Alex was talking about. I do not mind these whatsoever. No real different to Heinz, to be honest. Now I may have mentioned this on this channel before, and whilst I don't have any to hand right now, something that me and my family have always done whenever we have beans on toast is we wash it down with a glass of milk. My brother and sister, both of their spouses, as well as mine, all think that we're mad. It's just the best thing. It's like when you need a glass of milk after some chocolate, or you need a glass of milk after some peanut butter. That is just what it is with beans. Any Americans who haven't tried beans on toast before, get yourself a tin of Heinz and make it. You'll understand the hype, you'll enjoy it, and while you're at it, pour yourself a glass of milk. Okonomiyaki. It's a Japanese pancake, an amazing dish, which is probably one of my favorite things to eat. Now, I was looking through a Jamie Oliver book recently. I say recently, a couple of years ago now or so. I was just scrolling through and he had a recipe for okonomiyaki. It's kind of like the white person okonomiyaki. It's not made with all of the traditional ingredients, but it's a really nice, cheap, easy way and great dish to be able to make. For it, I do need to use all 3 of my wildcards for today. That is 2 eggs, being 20p each, that's 40 pence, and 10 pence for a bit of flour. Essentially, we're just gonna crack our eggs into a bowl. That's 1 and 2. Then you need a little bit of flour. Obviously, this entire thing of flour probably cost about 40p, so I'm gonna be relatively generous here. we whisk. Whisk it together to get a bit of a pancake batter. That'll probably do. It doesn't need, maybe a little bit thicker. We'll put a little bit more flour in. You want it to have a little bit of give while you're whisking it, but also you want it to be not really thick, but not really thin. Just a nice consistency in the middle of that. We now add to that, I've done a carrot, that all goes in there. Half an onion, that all goes in there. But now your main ingredient for okonomiyaki is cabbage. I mean, you can use white cabbage of any kind, really. The sweetheart was 69p. I find sweetheart works just as well as anything else. So we're gonna do a little bit of sweetheart cabbage and just kind of pop it all in there. Then we just mix it around, fry it on a frying pan. Bob's your uncle. It is that easy. It is really tasty and it is pretty good for you, I guess. Now you might think this is a lot of cabbage, but it's actually probably the perfect amount. Now there is a sad thing about me doing this, and that's you would normally have an okonomiyaki sauce, which is Worcester sauce and ketchup based, and it's very, very nice and very, very sharp. You smear that all over, and then you get a Japanese mayo, usually Kewpie, and you squirt that all over the top as well. And then if you have like some bonito flakes, you can put those on top as well, and it is incredible. Unfortunately, I don't have any of that, so I'm just gonna have it as the pancake as it is. We simply just want to pour it all on, get every single little nummy yummy bit out. Now you can kind of put in okonomiyaki whatever you want, really, and you can top it with things as well. I was tempted to top it with chicken, but I think this is gonna be enough. It's as simple as shaping it like that, and then what's pretty good to do is you steam it. Like that. Simple as, about 6 to 8 minutes on each side, and then we're good to serve. This is pretty close and accurate to how I would normally want to get it, and with a few less eggs and a few less ingredients than I would normally have. I'm quite happy by this. You're probably all gonna mock me for my chopstick use here, but I'm still gonna have it with chopsticks. Even without the mayo, even without the okonomiyaki sauce, it's still really tasty. If you like your veg and you like your egg, then this is honestly such a good dish for you. You can add cheese to it, you can add ham to it. I've had it with barbecue pork belly on top. Literally, I'd say this is one of the staples of our house. We have it pretty often. I'm happy I got to make it for you, and it only cost me another 50p. Which brings our total money left down to about £4.24. I'm gonna have to go, maybe tonight. There's a little on my way home from the, I'm awful with chopsticks, but there's a little on my way home from the gym. I think we're gonna need to get some breakfast, maybe just another couple of bits to add to it all and keep us going. I don't know why video quality is always so much worse at night time. Look at me, I look like an absolute mess. Have just finished the gym though. I have come to Lidl. We need something for breakfast. We need probably breakfast the next few days, really. We need a couple of things to maybe bulk up some of the meals we're having. Gonna try and spend maybe £2, that's about it. Leave the rest for some wild cards. It's funny, isn't it? You don't often always get the things that you think you're gonna buy. So, found some hot cross buns. That's breakfast for the next few days. Absolutely lovely. To go alongside that, some chopped tomatoes. I can definitely use those in a couple of dishes. And finally, and they are expensive, but I have ideas for these, £1.49 for some plums. Now that very scarily brings me down to about £1.60 exactly left in the budget. We've got 3 days to get through. I guess we'll see what happens. That is the most I can do. We'll see what tomorrow brings, shall we? I have an idea for the plums. I haven't just bought those like willy-nilly. I have an idea for the plums. Is there anything better than a little bit of Married at First Sight in bed? Admittedly, bit of an odd thing to find in October. As you can tell, I don't quite like putting up full-blown camera equipment in the morning. I've used a wild card already today. I wanted some butter on my hot cross buns. No matter the time of year, you just can't beat them. And at the very least, it's gonna last me the next 3 days for breakfast. I'm excited by lunch and dinner. I'm quite excited by what I'm making. And I'm excited to show you guys what I'm making. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you are wondering, Sam, why'd you spend £1.50 on a load of plums? There's a very simple answer to that. Jam. I probably could have bought a rubbish thing of jam for like 30-40p, like the one you get from Aldi. I'm not huge on that jam. I've tried it before and it's not great. I would rather make my own, and plus these make for excellent little snacks throughout the day. So I am gonna keep, oh, what is with my voice sometimes? I am going to keep 4 aside as some little snacks. The rest of these right here, we're gonna de-pit them. We're gonna wash them thoroughly, and we're then gonna make some jam. Really, really easy. It does mean I've got to use my remaining 2 wild cards for today, both 10p each. We have got a little bit of lemon juice and some sugar, which is 20p altogether. So I think that brings our total down of remaining funds to about £1.40. So I'm doing really well. So got them all cut up now, all the ones I'm using. So fun thing, back in lockdown, I made a lot of jam. I went on a bit of a jam making hype, as we all did weird things in lockdown, and I made what I was calling Sam Jam for pretty much my entire family. That was 3-4 years ago. Haven't made any jam since. First things first is probably the easiest bit. We need to stew these all down. It can be quite a slow, laborious process, this whole jam making thing. You want about just a little bit of water in here to help stew them down. These we're gonna kind of bring to the boil, and we're gonna let them stew down for pretty much like 15-20 minutes. So we'll keep checking back and I'll keep showing you the progress. All starting to get nice and bubbly. Oh, look at that. Nice and bubbly. I feel like we're getting there. We definitely need another 5 minutes or so before we add everything else, but we're stewing down well. Literally just water and plums at this point. So we should pretty much be there now. That is the kind of stewing level that we want to get to. We are adding a little bit of lemon juice, not loads, just a little bit, and a hearty amount of white sugar. We'll stir that. Probably need a little bit more sugar, to be honest. So we now need to bring this up to a rolling boil, and then let that boil for sort of 5 to 10 minutes or so, stirring very occasionally. Got an old jar here. There we go. Just enough for that jar. Jar of jam. Excuse the fact that it says rye on it. I was doing a sourdough starter in here. But that will be a lovely jam in a few hours or so. So my jam, we're pretty much there. We're pretty much set. An evening in the fridge will do it well. But that's enough to spread on some toast for lunch. That is a very good consistency for a spreadable jam. Hard to do this one-handed, but look at it. Look how beautiful it is. I love it. I love the little lumps of plum on it. I think this, homemade jam, so much better than most stuff you get in shops, honestly. That's unreal. I need to start making jam again, man, honestly. This on the hot cross buns and stuff tomorrow morning. That's gonna be amazing. I'm having a bit of a day, guys. I literally just recorded myself talking about this meal, eating it, and you'll never guess what? My microphone wasn't turned on. All I was saying is I was really, really resourceful with this dinner, I think. It's a really, really simple one to make, costs you barely anything, and I think it's really delightful, really tasty, and really straightforward. All I did, fried up half an onion, then I spiralised my carrots into carroty or carroty spaghetti. That all went in, little bit of seasoning, and then the majority of that tin of tomatoes that I bought last night. On top of that, I put a sachet of that soup mix in. That really thickened it up. Let that cook down for a good little while. All in the meanwhile, I had 2 of my drumsticks cooking away in the air fryer, shredded the meat off them, kept the bones, and mixed that chicken in, and we have this. It's a delightful dish, it really is. If I hadn't made that jam today, or used some butter on my hot cross buns, I would have maybe used a bit of oregano as a wild card. I would maybe have used a bit of cheese on top. I could have put some cabbage in here. I didn't think about that, but c'est la vie, what can you do? But all in all, I think we're doing really well. I've got 7 drumsticks left. I've got half a loaf of bread, 4 hot cross buns, a load of carrots, half a cabbage, 1 soup packet, and 2 bananas, and an onion, and a potato. And we've got, what, just under £1.50 left? I've got some really good ideas for meals coming tomorrow and Friday. I don't know if I'm gonna have to go to the supermarket again. Anyway, I'm off to the cinema later, shortly after I eat this. I'm gonna go see Smile 2. Really enjoyed the first one. Hoping the next one is as good as that one. Guess we'll see. This is me before seeing Smile 2. Welcome to the Hoodie Club. It is day 4. It is miserable outside. Today is just a pajama and it's an hoodie day. We're doing really well. I'm pretty impressed with myself. There is about £1.40-ish or something left for 2 days, right? I have got 7 chicken drumsticks left, half a loaf of bread, currently in the freezer, 3 hot cross buns, about 4 or 5 carrots, half a cabbage, 4 plums, boatload of jam, that'll last me ages, so well beyond this challenge, which is exciting. A potato, 1 more thing of soup seasoning, 1 onion, and 2 bananas. I've waited till day 4 because I wanted them to brown, because we are going to cook with them now. Our lunch is going to be using 2 of our wild cards, and these 2 bananas, and I'm going to make a 3-ingredient banana bread. All you need, over-ripened bananas, bit of milk of your choice, and some self-raising flour. And again, making that, by able to make things, that's 20p of wildcard things. So bam, bam, 2 wildcards, gone. My last wild card I'm saving for dinner. Very excited for what I'm having in store for dinner. This could easily last me well beyond 5 days. I'm just going to the end of the 5 days. I'm not gonna go to 6 or 7 because I wanna eat proper and I need to start filming next week's video. So straight up, first thing, 2 bananas, obviously. 1, 2. We are just going to mash these all up. Once you've got some nice banana puree, teensy little bit of salt, some self-raising flour, wee bit of milk, and we mix to combine. And once it's all just about combined, goes in a loaf tin lined with parchment paper, 40 to 45 minutes, and we're gonna have some really nice banana bread at the end of it. And we're basically just pouring it in here. A little bit big of a loaf tin for what we're going for with the amount of ingredients we have. You can do whatever you want for the next 45 minutes while that's cooking. Me, I'm gonna go watch Married at First Sight. The smells in here are incredible. Woo! Look at that beauty. It is a little flat, isn't it? It's probably because my loaf tin weren't very big. But hey. Look at it. No, look at it. I'm not a baker. I'm a cook. I'm not a baker. There is a difference. Anyone new to this channel, you can't say we're not real. I'm not gonna remake it and try and get something that looks much prettier. This is the real, raw truth of it, of how things happen, what happens. Should we cut into it, shall we? And see what we get. I can't get over this. This is honestly hilarious. It looks like banana bread on the inside. It looks like a banana bread focaccia. That's what it looks like. Shall we dig in? Guys, it tastes like banana bread. A little bit denser maybe. But honestly, it's tasty. It's not bad. There is nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It just, I think if I had a smaller loaf tin, it would have risen much better. For once I've done a little bit of prep in advance. Cut up my chicken, 3 drumsticks, and half an onion, and made matchsticks out of my potato, because we are going to have for dinner sort of a makeshift chicken burger. Now, to do this, we are going to be making our own chicken mince, which is pretty much as simple as blitzing up your pre-chopped chicken in a little blendery thing. I've removed most of the skin as best I can. Little bit of onion in there, just for a bit of added flavour. And that is what we're going to make a burger out of. And we're going to form it into patties. Probably just one patty. And I would, if you can, remove some of the silver skin, because that's just not going to cook very well and come out right. I tried to get as much of it as I can off, but you know, it's not always the case that you can. Once we're happy, we can literally then just form it into whatever shape patty we want. It's a really nice way to do things with like chicken thighs, chicken legs, chicken wings, when you have that kind of excess meat that you can. Obviously saving the bones like I have been doing all week, because we have our final day piece de resistance that we are making tomorrow, which I am very excited to show you all. In the meantime, we do our chips. Really simple with these. Bit of oil, not much, just enough that will help them crisp up a little bit, and a good amount of salt, and then simply mix. Now these aren't going to be quite as good as when I did them on my budget McDonald's video, but this, once they've got a nice coating, just going to air fry them for like 10 minutes. See what happens after 10 minutes. We can go from there. While that's doing, we'll cook the burger. Our bun is just going to be bread. It's just going to be bread. There's nothing exciting about it. It's literally just going to be in a piece, 2 pieces of bread. And our wild card, a little bit of cheese to make this a cheeseburger. That's 20 more p. That then, generous amount of salt, good crack of black pepper, and we flip. And while that's cooking, we can do about 20 pence worth of cheese. Are we ready for this? It should be nice and melted now. Let's have a look. Oh, that is what we call a chicken burger. And now we build a nice chicken burger there. Bit off-pieced, bit of cabbage as our makeshift lettuce. Unfortunate there's no sauce, but there you go. There's our chicken burger sandwich. Well, there we have it. Very much a budget, inexpensive chicken burger, in inverted commas. Ripe for the eating, with some nice crispy fries. Here we have it, chicken burger and fries. When they're made well, no sauce needed. No sauce needed at all. Oh, they're so crispy. These are great. I do feel like I've really perfected fries in an air fryer. Now, it's a shame I don't have a bun or sauce or real lettuce, and I was not gonna be putting this in a hot cross bun, but let's try our burger. It's really nice. It's seasoned well. The cheese gives it that nice extra tang. I don't mind the cabbage. It just adds a nice little fresh crunch to it, and I think you need a bit of green in every burger and every meal. We are dripping juice, which is always a good thing. Really doesn't matter that we've got a burger bun. Bread is bread, right? What started off as a not so successful lunchtime, although it's still tasty. I think this is a triumph. I've had this in mind since day one. Tomorrow, I've got some ideas. I know one good thing that we're gonna be making. Everything else, a bit up in the air. Breakfast will probably be a bit boring, but it's the last day tomorrow, so see if we can go out with a bang. Alrighty, it's the last day today. We've come far, we've done well. I am going to go out with lunch and dinner with a bit of a bang. Gonna try and make something I've not made before. Should be good, should be nice. I hope it's all right. Gonna use all of the bones, all of the leftover veg, all of the leftover chicken and we are gonna make a cream of chicken soup. And that's gonna be enough for me for lunch, for dinner tonight. Maybe I'll make a little sandwich to go with dinner. I don't know, haven't worked it out, but let's make it. Gonna make a giant bit of stock first, nice and easy. Just gonna chuck pretty much everything we've got left in it. And we start, yeah, they're frozen, but that'll end pretty soon. We've then got some more chicken bones. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And then we've got 2 things of chicken drumsticks left. They got all their meat on, but I'm gonna extract that meat later once this is all done. So that's what we're working with in terms of chicken. Then gonna put in the rest of our onion, a load of carrots, a load of cabbage there. We literally just put some heat under that. Gonna leave it for like an hour and a half, something along those lines. And that should make a really nice sort of chickeny veggie stock. Once that's made, we'll move on to the next bit. The smells coming out of this kitchen, unreal, unreal. That's been going for pretty much just over an hour now, and I'm getting hungry. I could let it go for another couple of hours, but I'm not going to. We'll have a quick little taste to check the chickeniness. Chickeniness. Good. Couple of things we're gonna do. Forgot to buy another onion, didn't I? So might be a little bit unconventional, but I'm gonna take the onion out of this, gonna dry it, and then I'm gonna fry it. Then we've got 1 carrot left. I'm gonna dice that all up and put that in, cook that down as well. And I'm gonna shred and dice a load of cabbage as well. Pop all of that in there too. Once it's all heated, we use our first wild card. Nice big knob of butter. Cook that down before we use our second. Bit of flour. Cook that all, bring it all in. Then we're gonna add our stock and do a nice mixy mix before finally adding our shredded chicken. We're just gonna let that combine, thicken up a little bit. It's gonna be a beautiful chicken soup. This definitely needs a little bit of skimming the scum off the top, because underneath we have a very, very lovely looking soup. Now I thought in terms of seasoning and helping this thicken up a little bit, we have one thing left up our sleeve. But we've still got one of these in there, and we will thicken with that. That should add some extra chickeny flavour and everything as well. Thicken it up a little bit. All the while we add the rest of our veg in. I firmly believe I'm one of the best soup makers in all the land, because this is perfect for this kind of day. It's wet outside, it's miserable, it's rainy, it's gross, and that is really warming and really lovely. Got the bits of chicken in it, a few bits of carrots, a few bits of onion, a few bits of cabbage. I'm really happy how this turned out. I suppose you can't really call it cream of when there is no cream, but this is great. I'm gonna munch it all, and then we'll probably have this for dinner as well, but I'll make something else to go with it and just zhuzh it up. Sorry it's not more interesting, but it's interesting for me, and I think that makes really good use of the rest of the ingredients. It turns out I only had enough for one really large bowl of soup left, but then I've also used my last wild card in the form of some cheese in order to make a triple layered grilled cheese. I say grilled cheese, did it in the panini press, but it's very reminiscent. It reminds me of when you do a grilled cheese with tomato soup. So it makes this a little bit more substantial for me and really tasty. Even the cat thinks so. Excuse me. Can't beat one of these. Cannot beat one of these. I can't get a word in. What have we learned the last 5 days, the last working week? I think we've learned that these kind of challenges, they're much harder than they were before, but also you can still make a lot out of not much. I'm incredibly impressed that we didn't spend the entire £10 budget, and yet we got pretty much 5 incredible meals out of it. Sure, there were some wild cards thrown in there, but as I say, all of these wild cards, things that you probably would have had at home anyway, and the amount of them we used, probably pretty accurate in terms of the 10 pence or the 20 pence that we spent on this budget with them. I do not know if I will do one of these again for a while. But that said, I love thinking outside the box, doing different things, making something from nothing. It's something that we always like doing in this house. If there's ever a day when we need to go shopping and there's pretty much nothing here, I'll raid the cupboards, I'll raid the freezer, raid the pantry, and I'll make something generally pretty delicious out of absolutely nothing. Something Carolina does love me for. I'm happy. 5 days, just over £9 spent. Maybe tomorrow I'll treat myself to something that cost this entire budget.